In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a door handle in a 2007 Ford Fusion. This is going to be the driver's side. The door handle snapped on the back side of here. I can still open the door if I pull the lock and the handle at the same time. So I determined that it's not the cable and it is actually the handle itself. So let's begin. So these are going to be the tools that are needed. First thing is going to be your actual new door handle. I bought mine from the Ford dealership. It was $65. That is the part number there. Again, if you look online, you can find these things for like 20 bucks, but I needed to get mine done as fast as possible. This is my daily driver, and I really didn't like not having a driver's side door handle. It broke a day ago, and now I'm fixing it today. So in the tools, you're going to need a small screwdriver or a pick. You'll need a 7mm, an 8mm. That's going to be your socket there. You'll need a Torx, and that's going to be a T20 Torx. I have mine in a screwdriver. You'll need either a large screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, or a door panel puller tool. You can buy the puller tool at any auto parts store, and then you'll need a ratchet, and I would recommend, I guess not need, but I would recommend an extension, just so that you can get those bolts out a little easier without being so tight against that ratchet up against the door panel. So the first thing that we have to do is remove the door panel. That is attached in 4 places. The first attached screw is going to be on the outside of the door, about where the window is. You're going to have 1 screw there. These are star bit screws. Your second one is going to be behind that black piece in there. You need to pop that out. You can use a pick or a small screwdriver. It looks like someone's already replaced this door handle or got into the door panel for some reason, and they must have used just a small screwdriver, so I'll just use that again. You're going to have another screw that's down into your handle here. There's just a piece of, I guess that would be like a rubber cover, and that's going to be an actual bolt. I believe it's a 7mm, but I will put that in the description. And then your last screw again is going to be a star, and that is going to be on the bottom side of the door panel. If you just run your hand down the bottom, you will eventually come across it. So the Torx driver that you will need to be using, or as I call them as a star bit, is going to be a T20. This screwdriver is 4 inches long. I bought this at, I believe it was Harbor Freight, in a whole package, and it was included in there. We're going to go ahead and take off the door panel. So like I said, a small screwdriver should be able to get that plastic piece off inside of there. So we'll go ahead and use a screwdriver to do that. Should be able to, this one's already been opened once, so that was pretty simple. But then you'll go ahead and take that screw out in that part. So once you go ahead and get that screw out of there, this part is pretty simple. You're just going to go ahead and pull the plastic piece out and get it out from around the door handle, and then you just have the electronics for the lock and unlock button. There's just a little clip there that will come right apart, and then this piece you're just going to set aside. So the last piece that you have to remove to get the door panel off is the bolt inside of that handle. Okay, once you get the screw removed out of here, you're just going to go ahead and pull this up and disconnect the wires here. They're just the same clips that were used on the other pieces. You're just going to pull those wires or the connections apart and set this piece aside. Okay, now that all the bolts and pieces and door trims are all taken out, now you'll go ahead and use a door panel remover tool, which can be purchased at any auto parts store or you can use a large screwdriver. So I'll go ahead and get the door panel off, and then I'll show you how to replace the handle. One thing to note is that when you're taking the door panel off, you're going to want to work your way around from one side of the door panel, say from here. You'll want to work your way around. You are going to have some popping noise as you're pulling the clips off from the door panel and the door, and that's normal. You just want to make sure that you don't break the clips. So not a lot of force, but just enough to get those clips to come off. Okay, once you get the door panel off, you'll go ahead and remove this bolt here, and that will take off the door handle. There's a cable that's on this side here. It's that white piece, and then the cable runs behind. Once you remove that bolt, then you can remove that cable there. So that bolt there is going to be an 8mm. Again, you're just going to use a socket set and remove that bolt. You can use an extension if you'd like. Make it a little easier. But again, that's the only bolt. You'll just want to set that aside. Let me put this ratchet down. And then right there, let me get a better angle. So right there is going to be your cable that you have to remove. So and it just simply slides out from this back side here, and then you'll just twist the cable and it'll come right apart just like that. So your new door handle will come with plastic and stuff. I'm going to leave mine on until I am done and got the door panel back on and all this stuff installed and bolted back in before I remove the plastic, just to make sure I don't make any scuffs or any scratches onto it. We'll go ahead and put the cable back in and bolt it back in. So again, you're just going to slide it in just like you did taking it out, and then that white plastic piece is just going to slide back in place here. Just like that. It's going to take a little bit of force because it is meant to be in there nice and tight. So after you get that cable back on, you can see that it is working now. You're just going to bolt it right back in place just how it was. So you're just going to line that hole back up and put the bolt back in, and then you'll just go ahead and screw that right back in place. So now I would wait to tighten it fully until you get the door panel back on. That way you can make sure that it's aligned properly, because there is no guides or anything that this sits in. So we'll go ahead and replace the door panel, put that back on, and then we'll finish tightening up the door handle here. Once the panel's back on, we'll get all the plastics back in and bolted back together. So like I said, once you get the door panel back on, now you can make sure that all this is going to be clearing as you're pulling the door. And it is. That's nice and straight. That's probably going to be perfect. There is tolerances, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's it. Once you get that in, finish tightening that bolt up nice and tight, and then put the plastic back on there, and you will be all set. Your door handle will be installed. So once you get everything reinstalled, you'll just want to go ahead and make sure that all your electrical connections are still working and that you connected them back correctly. What's nice about newer vehicles is that they make all this stuff basically one plug goes to that plug. There's not really any way to mix them up, but if they aren't tight enough, they won't work.